The injury bug has bitten UNC football hard this season. Several key football players are out for the season, including senior wide receiver Austin Prohl, forcing other players to step up.
We have a motto, next man up. It kind of sounds bad, but I mean that's the nature of the game.
Redshirt sophomore Anthony Ratliff-Williams has been one of those players to fill a vital role, converting to wide receiver after being the #1 high school quarterback in North Carolina.
Switching over to receiver was probably the toughest thing, athletically wise, learning how to run routes, things like that. But being a quarterback helped me mentally knowing how to get out of breaks, things like that.
Despite the change Ratliff-Williams has faced, he's proved to be a valuable asset to the offense.
I mean, he's a dynamite player. I mean, he's becoming that guy on the offense, the go-to guy. He showed he can go up and get the ball. He can run past corners. So I mean, he shows all the potentials to me.
Ratliff-Williams has proved MJ right thus far, earning ACC Player of the Week honors in Week 2 and an outstanding performance against Louisville, returning 5 kickoffs for 199 yards, setting a single-game record at UNC. His 94-yard score in that game was his first career touchdown. Regardless of his individual success, Ratliff-Williams has remained humble.
Not necessarily a lead wideout. There's a lot of guys in that room that's talented. I mean, a lot of guys have to step up, and they all know that. So, I mean, it's just whoever gets thrown the ball to, got to make that play, and everybody knows that. So, not really up so much as the top dog. Everybody makes plays.
With players injured, the team hopes that more players like Ratliff-Williams will step up and make plays as the season progresses. I'm Adrian Walker, reporting.
It's early mornings and late nights, long days filled with the smell of charcoal and the beautiful sound of some country music. And for some people, it's just a lifestyle.
For us, it's what we do. I mean, this is our favorite time of year.
But for Doug Frayne and his crew, a tailgate isn't complete with just a tent and some Bojangles and maybe a little bit of booze. He has to be able to navigate some tough roads.
My daughter went to school here, and her freshman year that she was at school, we decided we were going to buy an RV. We started off with a smaller one, and then by the time Leah was a sophomore or junior, we started to have probably 100 people at every tailgate. So we needed a bigger bathroom and a bigger unit. So that's what you see behind you. So we're about 70 feet going down the road.
To put that into perspective, 70 feet is about the length of, 70-foot-long hot dogs. But I can assure you, this wasn't a hot dog eater's tailgate. Complete with pulled pork barbecue, mac and cheese, baked beans, corn dip, Reuben dip, chicken salad, and almost any dessert you can think of, guests weren't gonna go hungry. And lucky for me, they treated me like family. So if you're in Chapel Hill looking for a good tailgate on a Saturday, head down to the Dean Dome parking lot. And maybe Doug will let you crash his party too.
For players like redshirt freshman starting quarterback Chaz Surratt, Mitchell Trubisky is a role model and inspiration for young quarterbacks in terms of what the pro possibilities are.
So as for me personally, I'm just trying to get to that stage at one point in my career. So just seeing him work and what he did each day, day in and day out, I'm just trying to get there too, and just follow that same path.
After playing together with Trubisky at Minter High School and then for UNC, tight end Brandon Fritz was extremely excited when he heard the news that Trubisky is starting for the Bears.
Yeah, I was pumped, man. I called him later that night, and he was pumped up for sure. And I know he's excited for his opportunity, man. I can't wait to watch him. I know he's going to do his thing and make a lot of us proud.
Trubisky had a promising preseason for the Bears. In the 4 games he played, Trubisky threw for 3 touchdowns and 0 interceptions, completed 67.9% of his passes, and posted an average QB rating of 106.2. That's why some of Trubisky's old teammates and roommates have high expectations for him tonight.
Mitchie T's going 23 or 25 and rookie MVP. 4 games in, he's going to be the rookie MVP. Calling it right now.
Carolina football players are happy to see Trubisky start in the NFL. They also can't wait to join him in the league so they can take him down. Junior Cole Holcomb is already envisioning what will happen if he faces Trubisky in the pros.
Getting 3 sacks. He's getting a sack. He's getting sacked at least 3 times that game. It's got to happen.
Trubisky doesn't have to worry about Cole Holcomb yet, but he does have to worry about the Vikings defense, which intercepted Jameis Winston 3 times in Week 3. However, if he plays tonight like he played at Carolina, he'll be just fine. I'm Luke Buxton, reporting.
Saturdays in Chapel Hill are filled with tailgating, football, and maybe even some fireworks. But about 24 hours before all of this, the mood is quite different. A handful of those football players meet in the Hall of Honor and begin signing some posters. Once everyone is gathered up, they start walking, winding up a path until they're here, the UNC Children's Hospital. A short elevator ride and this group is on the 7th floor, stopping to brighten the day of whoever they can. But just showing up isn't enough. The players really want to connect with the kids.
I think that's the biggest thing is like they get real scared when they see us like, wow, this huge dude just entered my room. So, I think you just try to find little things like what are they watching on TV or blankets and teddy bears, ask them questions about that, like let them know, we're nice guys, we're gentle giants.
This is a tradition for the football team, and players come the Friday before every home game. Fritz has gone every time this season.
The best thing is walking in that door at first, when they first see us, their eyes kind of light up and stuff like that. And it's really cool to see them come out of their shell and talk.
Fritz says he loves his visits, and he says they help paint a bigger picture.
It's incredible. Especially today when, we talk about, hey, we got a game tomorrow, like come watch us. And, the patient, she's going to surgery later that day. And it really puts things in perspective. Like, yeah, we got a football game, but she's going into surgery.
Fritz is a captain on the football team, and he's taken it upon himself to lead on and off the field. Oftentimes, it's the little things that mean everything. I'm Jonah Lossie, reporting.
Scholarships don't go to just any student athlete. It takes a special individual to earn such an honor.
A lot of times talent alone isn't what we try and recruit. We go out and we recruit good young men as well as good basketball players.
After helping win a national championship as a walk-on, sophomore Shea Rush is now on scholarship.
Carolina was kind of my dream school growing up as a kid. I'd always wanted to go there. Coach Williams knew who I was, and we had been in touch as I grew up and told me that they'd love to have me in the program, but they just didn't have a scholarship at the time.
Coach Roy Williams changed that at the beginning of the season.
When he first told me, it was at a football game, and we have a team meal before every football game. So we were all at the team meal, and he brought us all together and said, hey, obviously we have a scholarship that we need to give out. I've decided to give it to Shea. And it was just neat being with my teammates because they were there and they were super happy for me. They felt like I'd worked really hard for it.
Rush felt that he had the talent to work himself into being a scholarship level player.
I always have high expectations of myself. I set the bar high, and I think that just moved that bar even higher, and I want more of myself, and it definitely entices me to work harder as well.
Rush says whether he had a scholarship or not, Carolina basketball made him feel right at home.
Being embraced as a walk-on, that was super special. I was nervous coming into this situation because these guys were better than me, are better than me, so that's always nerve-wracking. But at the same time, this program's so inclusive that I've always felt like, I was a part of something.
Now playing for Carolina as a scholarship athlete, Rush feels more valued and hopes his hard work will show throughout the rest of the season. I'm Cambria Haro reporting.
The Heels are just days into practice, and things are looking up for this season.
I think we look good. We have some work to do. I think it's coming along pretty good. We have time to get all that together.
The group's dynamic has been a key to quality practices and team development.
Practices have been going great, and we do a lot of repetitive stuff, a lot of skill work, a lot of going through plays. Team chemistry is really great. We have done a lot of team bonding things this year.
As we've gone, practices have gotten harder and harder, but the team finds a way to overcome them, so they look really good.
The freshmen have so far exceeded Coach Sylvia Hatchell's expectations.
I love the freshmen. They are learning, they're good, they're talented.
With these freshmen on the roster, the Heels have gained in size and strength.
Janelle Bailey is going to be a really, really strong inside player in the league. And then Jayla Murray, she is probably maybe a little better than I thought she was. Those kids are young, but they've got potential to be really, really good.
With these key players, everyone is hoping for a Final Four appearance.
Playing at Carolina is an honor, and it is. It's truly an honor to wear that uniform. But winning is a tradition. We've got a chance to have a really special season. And I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the potential of this team. And, we just need a lot of people to come out and support them.
We sure can use another national championship banner. In Chapel Hill, I'm Kaylee Padron reporting.
Paris Key made the most of her decision to transfer to UNC. Key ranked first in minutes played, fifth in scoring, and eighth in assists and steals in the ACC.
Okay, after I had asked for a release form, coaches started calling me again,
and UNC was definitely at the top of my list because I wanted to come back and play for the ACC. The coaching style is different at UNC than it is at Vanderbilt because at UNC we focus more on running plays and executing. Coach Hatchell really lets us show our skills. We have more freedom on the court.
Paris Key is an outstanding young lady, very talented player, highly skilled, can play multiple positions, is a big part of our women's basketball team here at UNC, and will be a major factor in our success this year.
During Key's transfer season, she worked very hard off the court to be able to make an immediate impact for the Tar Heels.
I would say the biggest thing was working on my shot. I had shoulder surgery on my right shoulder because I had dislocated it a couple times in high school.
Key says she didn't have full rotation in that shoulder, but when she got to UNC, trainers worked with her to get it back to full strength.
Jason, our strength and conditioning coach, spent a lot of hours in the weight room with me. I told him that I wanted to try to be able to dunk when I got back, so that was one thing that we worked on. And just getting stronger, being able to take contact. Hopefully I can be a vocal leader this year and just to keep them focused and remind them that we need to win on the boards. I definitely expect us to have a winning season. We have grown a lot since last year, and as long as we are healthy and stick together, we should have a great season.
Key says one of her goals for this season is an ACC championship. I'm Destiny Walker, reporting.
The UNC women's soccer program is one of the best in the nation, and it has the technology to match. What is this small device? It's the Catapult Optimi S5, used by the likes of the Dallas Mavericks, Buffalo Bills, Chelsea FC, and more than 900 teams worldwide. At about $1,800 a piece, what makes it worth the price? The power of analytics.
We go over their total distance, and then we look at something called bands, which kind of breaks it down into percentages. So we can see when they're going at 65 to 75% of their total sprint, 75, 85, whatever percentage we want.
The trackers use GPS, accelerometers, gyroscopes, and magnetometers to track movement, which is fancy talk for incredible accuracy, to within 50 centimeters. This is the third year the team is using these devices. When multiple players tore their ACLs a few years ago, head coach Anson Dorrance and others decided they needed to figure out why. That's where these devices came in. Now, 16 players wear the devices, including starters and players coming off of injuries. As for who runs the most during a game,
one of our outside backs, Julia Ashley, she runs the most during any practice in any game.
In the Heels ACC tournament quarterfinal win against Florida State, Ashley ran nearly 7.5 miles during the game and maxed out at 17.2 miles per hour. This data helps Ashley and her teammates get an in-depth look at their performance and make sure they're getting the most out of their training. Thanks to these devices, elite players get information that makes them even more effective on the pitch. In Chapel Hill, I'm Elizabeth Singletary reporting.
Middle of the field. A couple of fakes, a chipped ball to the backside!
After a 15-year absence from the Triangle, the North Carolina Courage is back, and the team has wasted no time in picking up where the old Courage left off. The team has topped the National Women's Soccer League table for almost the entire season, a feat that fans like Ebony Christmas say has been inspiring.
There's nothing else the Courage want to do except for win. They're an all-or-nothing group. I think Coach Paul Riley calls them junkyard dogs for a reason, so they got that scrappiness to them.
Coach Riley might call the team junkyard dogs, but one of them has another name. Tar Heels.
Palmed away by Harris. Chance for McDonald. She scores!
Forward Jessica McDonald, the NWSL's #2 all-time leading goal scorer, was a key part of UNC's 2008 national championship run. For her, this season has been a welcome return home.
Just sort of living in the Triangle area again has been absolutely phenomenal, and being able to play in front of my alma mater has been kind of thrilling.
McDonald says the team's hard work has bred confidence.
It's very comfortable, obviously, being in this position that we're in. We worked so hard to get where we are today, but the crazy thing is, even though we're sitting at #1, we still have room for improvement.
Just one game separates the Courage from a regular season title.
The fan base is anxious because they're like, well, what can this team do? Can they repeat? Can they continue to amaze us every week? And yes, they can.
The players believe that too. In Cary, I'm Cole Villena, reporting.
You might not know Holly Carlton by name, but you'd know her if you saw her. At 6'7", she's the tallest setter in the ACC by more than 4 inches.
I don't know if I'm just not the same physicality as them or what, but I think that I play like a short player. Like, I think that I bring in some other attributes.
And those attributes make Carlton the ultimate combo player as both a setter and an opposite hitter. USA Volleyball officials noticed that when they selected her for the U.S. national team last summer. Unlike a school team, USA Volleyball doesn't have practices.
We met in Costa Rica, like all of our teammates. Like, I didn't know the teammates before I got there.
That was no problem, though, as Carlton and the team took home gold at the U20 Pan American Cup and 7th at the World Championships. This season, the Tar Heels haven't been as lucky, currently 4-6 and tied for last in the ACC. But Carlton isn't worried.
We've had a lot of lineup changes and have already gone through a lot of adversity, which I think will make us stronger in the end. So I still have very high expectations for the ACC tournament, for the NCAAs.
No matter the outcome of the season, Carlton still has 3 more years at UNC. Once her time is up, she hopes that volleyball still plays a large role in her life.
I can't say that I have a clear vision of what I want to do, but I know that my love for the game is strong and that I have great potential and great people surrounding me to help me continue to grow in the game. So I would love to maybe play overseas, maybe pursue something on the beach, or maybe pursue something with USA.
As for where she plans to buy pants that are long enough?
Nowhere. You wear boots on top so that people can't tell how short they are.
In Chapel Hill, I'm Blake Morgan reporting.
Before Ashley Hoffman even arrived on campus, it seemed like she was already meant to play field hockey as a Tar Heel.
I think I was in middle school when I watched UNC play for a national championship at Maryland, and the Carolina blue was just so pretty and all the girls were so pretty, and I was just like, I want to be that one day.
In addition to watching the Tar Heels since she was a child, Ashley's mother has quite the close connection with UNC head coach Karen Shelton, as they played together on the 1984 U.S. Olympic field hockey team.
Well, I've known Brenda for a long time, and we were teammates on the Olympic team, and we've kept in touch over the years, but really started to reconnect as Ashley came into the picture. To see Ashley come from her mom, that's no big surprise. What great genes.
And those great genes have carried over to Ashley being one of the best players in the country, as she has scored 10 goals on the season and is a member of the current U.S. national team herself.
Being asked up to the national team this past summer, I've grown a lot as a player, especially, and as a person. You're kind of more independent on the national teams. And then on the field, obviously, they train at such a high level.
Although her talent on the field is unquestionably great, it is her compassion off the field that makes her truly exceptional for her coaches and teammates.
She's been a wonderful example of all the things that are good in intercollegiate athletics.
From Chapel Hill, I'm Keaton Eberly reporting.
Get loud! Get proud for your Durham Bulls!
Goodman Field, home of the Durham Bulls, isn't only a baseball field, but a place for fun.
And we plan all the fun at our games, from anything from the walk-up music to the in-game, in-between music to the on-field promotions, whether it's sumo wrestling or racing kids around the bases with Willie Bull. We plan the fun for the Bulls.
According to Inman, the fan is the most important member of the Bulls family.
And it's not just, my boss that I have to report to directly, it's the fans and customer service and making sure our fans have a good time when they come to Bulls games, making sure that players are interacting with the fans. They're always willing to sign autographs, always willing to, meet with someone in the community. And I think that's what makes AAA and minor league baseball so great. And that's what makes the Durham Bulls so great.
Do it. Yeah, go Bulls, right?
My experience with the Bulls has been fantastic. I've been a season ticket holder for probably over 12 years, and the promotions, they're all always smiling and making sure that the fans are here and having a fantastic time.
The win-loss record isn't nearly as important as the atmosphere fans will experience. In Durham, I'm Natalie Harden reporting.
Motocross, because besides rushing Franklin for the national championship, nothing gets your heart racing like seeing a 30-minute board go sideways.
Adrenaline rush, always a little bit nervous before the race, but when the gate drops,
you just forget all about that and you just concentrate on going as hard as you can to that first corner. Hopefully you don't run into anybody and go down, but no, it's nerve-wracking, but it's exciting at the same time.
Call us crazy, but we find all that kind of relaxing.
No matter how crappy my week was, I can come out here, put on my gear, ride dirt bikes, forget about it for a couple of hours, just have a good time.
To us, it's like a quick getaway from reality with some good folks.
Track's a good spot. It's out in the country. The people there are very helpful. They're good folks. If you've got a problem with your bike, folks will chip in, try to get it running. It's just a bunch of good old down-to-earth folk.
Don't let all this fool you. It's a lot harder than it looks.
A lot more exercise than people think. Riding a motorcycle is hard work.
Especially when you're competing against your sister.
It's definitely a lot of work, a lot of the times. Especially if Sarah's behind me, I find myself praying for the white flag, which means one more lap left.
After all, there are bragging rights on the line.
Just each other to do the best that we can. And I get kind of angry if she beats me and the other way around, so we always got an incentive to do really well so we can kind of give each other crap.
What's even better than beating your sister?
Funny watching the old fat guys on 450s trying to hold off the girls on 150s or trying to pass them, and not just, they just can't do it. So it's funny watching the old fat guys get all upset about that.
Seeing that reaction never gets old. In Chapel Hill, I'm Sarah Willey reporting.
The club equestrian team is in a class of its own at UNC.
It requires a lot of trust, too. To trust in a 1,000-pound animal to not kill you, essentially.
Danger is present, but you can clearly see the rider's skill.
I think that's the most special thing about this sport is getting to have that connection with the animal and doing something that can be so intimidating, such as jumping, big obstacles. You just have to have that complete trust.
That dedication not just to the sport, but to the horses themselves is what distinguishes club equestrian from other sports.
But it's very rewarding whenever you've gone through a difficult time and then you end up coming out with this positive relationship with this horse, overcoming some obstacles. So it's probably the most rewarding sport out there.
The team competes at 7 shows throughout the year at different college teams' barns. The catch? You're not riding your own horse.
We'll walk up to a draw table, pull a name out of the hat, and that's who we're going to be riding for the day.
At shows, riders are judged in the hunter, jumper, and equitation style, which basically means that riders are evaluated on their position, skill, and how they handle the horse, all the while going over jumps up to 3 feet high.
Horseback riding is a very kind of individual sport. It's usually just you and the horse. So to make it a team event, that's pretty special because we're all relying on each other to give our absolute best and kind of push ourselves to help the team succeed overall.
Horses and riders. It's truly a winning combination. In Hillsboro, I'm Colleen Brown reporting.